And hopefully this is working. Welcome back to another episode of Street Switch Photography. I can't actually see what's going on the screen and whether it's actually capturing the whole device. I've been banned off YouTube for 2 weeks, but I'm coming back with a little video from over at Leicestershire County Council. Reform and Tories arguing over threats to knock somebody's block off. Let's roll the intro and we'll go from there. The chat is open. Please feel free to leave a comment and I'll see you in a minute.
What I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
So yes, it's good to be back live on YouTube and with this video, quite an interesting one. Dan Harrison, leader of the Reform Party over at Leicestershire County Council, been threatened by a Tory, Mr. Smith, to have his block knocked off. Let's get straight into the video and see what Mr. Harrison had to say actually in this meeting in the chamber at Leicestershire County Council.
Resulting in complaints to the monitoring officer to deal with. For my part, I apologise to all members and staff of this council. In an attempt to draw a line and move on, I met with Mrs. Taylor.
Let me just start that again. Sorry about that.
Chairman, there has been a chain of emails through.
So this is the one I think I'm meant to be on.
Officer to deal with.
Here we go.
For my part, I apologise to all members and staff of this council. In an attempt to draw a line and move on, I met with Mrs. Taylor and Mr. Smith, her deputy leader, on the 28th of October, along with my deputy, Mr. Kevin Crook, to try and agree a new protocol dealing with how our respective groups could agree to end direct personal attacks on each other and keep political comment and discourse to policy where it should be. However...
Now listen to this bit sort of pricked my ears up a little bit and I thought, oh, this is not what should be going on in councils across the country, or particularly this one.
Chairman, towards the end of that meeting on the 28th of October, which I thought was robust exchange of views.
It started again.
Witnesses, Mr. Smith threatened me with physical violence and to knock my block off if I hurt someone he cared for. Mr. Crook had to intervene to calm.
He will knock his block off. Is that acceptable behaviour? Acceptable behaviour by a Tory councillor over at Leicestershire County Council? Unbelievable.
Down, but naturally I was frightened for my personal safety and remain wary of him in person meetings with Mr. Smith. I've reported this matter to the police and I am not satisfied that the leadership of the Conservative group has dealt effectively with this. Mr. Smith's conduct and behaviours, to which he has admitted in subsequent emails of apology I've received. I do not accept the apology and a call on their group to take whatever corrective action is necessary.
So what corrective action would be necessary? Would this be a waste of police resources, in your opinion? Would this be a waste of police time and taxpayers' money, in your opinion? What do you think? Now, basically what's happened is the Reform leader of Leicestershire County Council has been threatened with violence by a Tory member councillor over at Leicestershire County Council. He threatened to knock his block off, I think were his exact words. This was the reply from the Tories in the chamber at Leicestershire County Council.
I agree with both Mr. Mear and Mr. Mullaney that this shouldn't have been in the leader's position statement. So I'm speaking on behalf of Mr. Smith, who is unable to respond directly today, as is in the process of seeking legal advice regarding the leader's statement. First, I wish to make clear that I was personally present at the meeting on the 28th of October. I can confirm without hesitation that the account presented in the leader's position statement does not reflect what took place.
So she's calling him a liar. Is this what we expect from Tory and Reform councillors?
The description of the exchange, both in content and tone, is wholly inaccurate. It also conveniently misses out the threats made to both myself and Mr. Smith in that meeting. I fully support Mr. Smith in refuting the versions of events that have been put on public record today. The leader has indicated that he's reported this matter to the police. If that is correct, it is surprising that an alleged ongoing investigation has been disclosed publicly in this forum. Ordinarily, one would expect the police to advise against referencing such matters,
especially if there's an investigation,
while any inquiries are said to be ongoing. For further clarity, Mr Smith completely rejects the account set out in the leader's statement. He is prepared to provide a full and accurate description to the police should he be asked to do so, and for the record, so will I. Finally, I've advised Mr Smith not to comment further at this stage, as he can currently seek receiving legal advice in relation to the allegations made.
Now, don't you think this is very, very petty? And do you think it's a good use of time, money and resources? Someone's threatened to knock somebody's block off. I call this political lampooning, whatever you want to call it. It just seems a little bit silly, doesn't it? I know they shouldn't be asking, they shouldn't be acting like this and it shouldn't be happening, but you vote for these people to be in office. You want them to do the job that they're elected to do. Not standing there telling somebody else they're going to be knocking somebody else's bloody block off. That isn't acceptable. Now, I'm pretty sure if it was the other way around, for example, if it was a Reform member saying that to a Tory member, the Tories would be on this like a tramp on chips. So I can't say I blame him for going to the police and everything else. Maybe he was alarmed, harassed and distressed. But should we have feelings, police? Should we really?
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor.
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. This was his response to Mrs. Taylor.
There has been a chain of emails from the deputy to the leader of the Conservative group, and she said originally he was dealing with it, there was understanding, recognition and everything else, and then eventually she said the apology is now, that's complete.
I will answer some of the questions in the comments at the end of the video, no problem.
It's all gone. But there hadn't been an understanding. You cannot hear those words and not think, wow, they were unusual words. They're not normal exchange of words that we might grumble at each other. It was not that. And I can honestly say the words I said was what was spoken. So did this gentleman here. There was a gentleman, an officer who came into the room. He says, oh God, you've just missed Craig Smith threatening to knock the leader's head off. That was said, nobody was there. So there's three people, three versions then against what was said. But the bit that gets
I'm now talking bollocks.
me really is, Mr. Chairman, the arrogance of this leader who's chased us over responsibility and behaviour.
This is where I was saying, if it had been the other way round, so if it had been a Reform member that had threatened to knock a Tory member's block off, they'd have been on it like a tramp on chips. No one's in the right, no one's in the wrong. It's a waste of resources, a waste of time, another investigation that doesn't need to happen. Believe it or not, it actually costs money. It's a waste of police resources as well if he has got in touch with the police. I just sort of think they're used to sweeping things under the carpet at these councils, and this could be one of them things they actually do need to just sweep under the carpet.
There was a case where there was, I consider it to be really bad behaviour to threaten somebody with violence. And she's done nothing. And she said he's self-correcting himself at one stage. And the whole thing just runs on. Now, eventually, her last comment is saying, well, he's apologised, that's the end of it. So that was her case. It's all documented. And what really makes me feel angry is that was wrong, the behaviour. It was not right to talk to the leader of the council. I
don't think anybody's disputing that the behaviour was wrong. People do make mistakes. Maybe he shouldn't have threatened to have knocked somebody's head off. If somebody turns around and says, I'm going to knock your head off, I'm the first person to turn around and say, go on then, do it, because then I can go to the police because there's actually been a physical attack and you will end up finding yourself in serious sodding trouble. And just remember, you've got a right to protect yourself. But this is something so, what I would say is petty. But again, if it was reversed, what do you think? Do you think this is a waste of taxpayers' money and a waste of police resources?
council like that. It was just not right to use aggressive language, and he did. I wouldn't be here today standing if it wasn't.
The thing is, you're going to find aggressive language in every single part of your life. Wherever you go, whatever you do, people are going to be aggressive. People are going to use aggressive language, aggressive actions and everything else. And you have to learn to have thick skin and to deal with it. Now, to be a politician and actually deal with it as well, most of the lefties, I can understand them losing their shit just over the smallest thing. But this, I would have just turned around and said, if you're going to knock my block off, do it. And then we'll deal with that after. But until that point, let's sort of get some cohesive discourse and open a dialogue here and get something sorted like we've been elected to actually bloody do. Instead of acting like children and all this mudslinging, shit-slinging, whatever you want to call it, it's ridiculous.
Well, I've got more important things to do than to chase people, but there was consistency from the leader of the Conservative Party to duck and dive and not answer it.
But the thing is with councils, they're used to ducking and diving, sweeping things under the carpet, ignoring things, not doing things properly, taking shortcuts and all the rest of it. That's what they do. That is the political game that they play.
What really sparked it up, I was speaking in loose conversation to a member of that party, and I mentioned, oh gosh, I've had some trouble with, you what?
And also what you have to remember is with the online safety bill and stuff like that as well now, what Keir Starmer again has put in, they've made it such a broad thing that can be committed as an offence nowadays. It's absolutely nuts. It's ridiculous. Now, if you're wondering where I've actually been on the channel, I've been missing for 2 weeks, not because of something I've said recently, but because of a short that I'd posted. I actually wasn't in the short or anything else. It was a repost and I got banned for a couple of weeks. Done. I'm on my second strike. I've got to be careful what I say. I've got to be careful what videos I'm putting out. But I can still put out political information and videos like this one here, where I think that somebody threatening to knock somebody's block off, saying it and doing it are two completely different things. And I don't think it needs to go to the police. The police have got much more important things to be attending, like robberies, burglaries and things like that. Let's go and have a look at some of the comments and see what people are saying, because I believe it's a waste of time. That's just my opinion. Welcome back. Thank you, Melton Mafia. In a workplace, you'd into HR like a fish at a property. Yeah. How many investigations have been made with all the corruption and mess around the country? Never had so many. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. We all get paid for this in the huge country, for the homeless and alcoholics and drugs abuse in the town, villages and cities as multiple organisations to tackle the country is really corrupt. 100% waste of the taxpayers' money. Most of the politicians... Yeah, exactly. I mean, most politicians nowadays have got thick skin, especially them that are centre, right, or lean more to the right. They have got thicker skin. You need to have that thick skin to be able to do your job properly. This happens in the Houses of Parliament every single day of the week. This political lampooning. We used to have something called spitting image. That took the piss out of people in the political world all of the time. It's all in the name of political correctness and everything else. All that's happened is someone has said, I will knock your block off. That's it. There was, to me, that is, I'm not getting at reform, but it could be, if they're talking about saving all this money, right? Maybe not go ahead with any investigation on this, because I think it's very, very petty. Very petty indeed. And their time and money could be spent in more sort of, let's just say, in better ways that they've been put into office to actually do. Anyway, this is my first video back. I will be downtown on Saturday. I'll be doing a video or a live stream on Saturday. The Reform Tent, I believe, is in town. I will ask some questions. I've got a few questions I want to ask. I was recently pulled in by the police, Melton Police, and I was interviewed under caution for revealing 16 addresses that Melton Borough Council have revealed to be HMOs in Melton Mowbray. I have been interviewed under caution. I am no longer allowed to do videos on that, because I included photographs and everything else of where these HMOs actually were. We've got 75 confirmed male unchecked migrants moved into Melton. I've done some maths on how many exactly it would be. If they did the maths right, it'd be 105. I can't actually say for certain whether there's more or less than that, but as a rough guess, I'd say we'll stick to the 71. I believe people have a right to know where these places are. I have a right. I would like to know who is living in my area and who is safe and who isn't safe. But I can't say any more than that. As I said before, I've had my well, let's just look at it as a warning from the police to not mention HMOs. So there we go. Yes, I've been, let's just say, politically silenced in saying anything, but there will be other videos coming out that are going to be interesting. I will be in town on Saturday. I will be asking Reform, do they think it's right that I was interviewed under caution for releasing information that is already out there, freely available on the internet, and just putting it in one place to make it easier for people to find. I was threatened. I was ridiculed for it. But hey-ho, that's what happens when you run a YouTube channel and Facebook page, isn't it? I'm, again, a little bit thicker skinned than most. So make sure you tune in on Saturday for the live with Reform. I will be obviously doing more live videos between there and then. And this has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next live video. Good evening for now. Roll the outro.
Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.